Hi, this is Daniela Wolf with Bestie Life, the podcast, and this is your community to support you through the little and not so little events that make up your day-to-day life. From the I've got this moments to the I just can't moments. We are here to empower all women to find and develop the skills they need to find peace, balance, and the bliss in their busy. Through solo episodes as well as interviews with amazing women who share their journey and their story and how it works for you. I hope you find the inspirations to make you laugh, think, as well as maybe rethink what you thought you knew, and connect as we realize that we are all living similar ups and downs and don't have to do it alone. So excited for you to hear this episode, and thanks so much for joining me today. Hi friends, welcome back to Bestie Life, the podcast. I'm your host, Daniela, and today I want to talk about a commonly overlooked topic: investing in yourself. And no, I don't just mean financially. We're going to go way deeper than that. We're going to talk about what it really means to invest in yourself with your time, your energy, your choices, and yes, sometimes money. But we're going to break down those fears and the resistance and the options you do have and how to figure out what the right next steps really are for you. So grab your favorite beverage, grab a pen and some paper, and let's dive in. So when I say invest in yourself, what comes up for you? What does that actually mean to you? For some folks, it's kind of a knee-jerk reaction of, oh, that just sounds like something expensive, or I don't have time for that, or even, you know what, I really should be able to figure this out on my own. And I was probably in that camp for a long time. And hey, if you've thought any of those things, like I said, you're not alone, because I've totally been there. But here's the deal. When you invest in yourself, it's really just simply choosing to prioritize your own growth, healing, and future, not necessarily above anything else, but prioritize it as something just as important as some of the other things that are on the top of our to-do list. It's putting your energy towards something that will make your life better, not just today, but in the long term. And yes, that can mean working with a coach, but it can also mean maybe reading a book, joining a supportive community, attending a workshop, or even just carving out 10 to 15 minutes in the morning to journal or do some movement instead of just scrolling on your phone. It's not what you do, it's the fact that you do it on purpose consistently. But a lot of times this can feel hard. So let's talk about the fear that can get in the way of us investing in ourselves, because it's anytime you're going to invest in yourself, whether it's money or just time and attention, there's always a risk involved. And it doesn't have to be a big risk, but some of those risks could be fears of maybe, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't stick with it? What if it's a waste? Or what if people judge you for doing the things? And here's the big one that I hear. What if I try and I still don't feel better? And that's a heavy one, and it's real, because the truth is, investing in yourself doesn't guarantee overnight results, but you know what? It does guarantee that you're showing up for yourself, that you're refusing to settle for burnout and exhaustion and just calling that normal and what life's meant to be. That choice alone, that one action of doing the thing every single day, that changes everything. And so what does that actually look like? Like I said, it doesn't have to involve a ton of time, a ton of money, things like that. But let's just say, you're feeling overwhelmed and you're thinking, I don't even know where to start, where to begin, but something's got to give. Let's look at how small this could be. Maybe you're a do-it-yourselfer kind of person. You could read a book. I've got a great book out there, Balancebreakthrough, which is a practical guide to help you start taking these action steps. You can listen to a podcast like the one you're listening to right now. Hey. Watch YouTube videos, find free resources, and run with them. Take one thing and just start doing that. It doesn't have to be big and massive, but these are great, low cost, low pressure ways to start. And the only catch, it might be like slow at times and a bit scattered if you're not careful with what you pick or how you choose to start implementing it. But it's absolutely doable to take the initiative and start slowly building this process yourself. Another way might be joining a group program or a membership. And this is where you get some structure, some community, some support. Usually it's a lot less expensive than one-on-one coaching, but it still gives you that sense of momentum and accountability. And honestly, this can really be a sweet spot for a lot of people because you can watch replays a lot of times in these areas. They're still a little bit self-guided, but you still have that community of support. And then another way is to hire a coach like me. This is really the fast track for someone who's like, you know what? I'm ready to start living my best life now, and I want to invest in taking the fastest way possible there. And coaching is like borrowing someone else's brain who's been where you are, who's already developed the strategies and the plans, and knows how to help you get where you want to go faster, smoother, and with fewer, oh my God, what am I even doing kind of moments, right? Because you have that trainer working with you side by side, guiding you through the ups and downs, helping you when it feels like you want to turn back and it's difficult, And so in general, this investment can look different in every way. And coaching, while it's not always cheap, if you're someone who's ready for real change and tired of spinning your wheels, coaching is really an investment that's going to save you time, energy, and a whole lot of frustration, as well as achieve your goals that much faster. So the point is, in general, though, you've got options. There's no one way, there's no wrong way. It's just about the way that's going to work best for you. And you don't have to do the most expensive or time-consuming thing. It's just about doing something, because action creates clarity, right? Action's going to help you know not only what's working, but what's not working, and realizing maybe where you need to pivot, what areas to lean into more. So to kind of now get the bigger picture of what actually happens when you start to invest in yourself, what's that transformation going to look like? What are you going to see? Honestly, it's not one massive big one and done, but as you start investing in yourself consistently, even in small ways, like a lot of times I talk about a 1-minute self-care practice. If you haven't heard me talk about that, send me a message and I will send it to you. But, even super small practices, things are going to start to shift. You're going to start to feel more in control of your time and energy. You start believing change is actually possible. You begin making maybe decisions from a place of empowerment, not panic or guilt, because you had a plan in place, as well as you just stop settling for just getting by and really start aiming for something better because you see that potential. You see what that transformation can be, and you become the kind of person who trusts themselves to really follow through. And that's the real ROI on all this, is who you become and how you feel about yourself. So if you're thinking, all right, Dee, I get this. This sounds great, but where do I start? First thing is I want you to ask yourself, what part of my life do I want to feel differently about in 3 months? Okay, because like I said, this is the long game, so it's not going to be a one and done, but to really, over time, consistently doing one small action even, where do you want to feel differently in 3 months? And then the second part is to figure out what kind of support would actually help you with that. What are the tools that you're going to need? Whether it's a book or a course, do you need a community? As well as, do you want clarity and accountability? Do you want someone guiding you, holding your hand, helping you come up with the strategy that's going to get you there fastest and be the most effective? That's where coaching is going to come into play. And then the last thing is just committing to one small next step. That's it. That's the magic. So if this episode hit home with you, I want to say this. You're allowed to want more. Give yourself that permission to take time for yourself, to prioritize yourself, to invest in yourself, to want to have more ease, more clarity, more balance, and more support in your life. You don't have to earn these things by running yourself into the ground. And if you're ready for that next step and coaching sounds like that thing for you, I offer free coaching calls where there is zero pressure, real conversation about where you are, where you want to go, and what might help you get there. I'd love to connect, start that conversation, and help you start to see what your next steps could be. So the link for those coaching calls are my link in bio. There's one in the show note. And until next time, please remember to take care of yourself, and that investing in yourself is never selfish. It benefits you and everyone else around you, and it's really the foundation for everything else that happens in your life. So thanks so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much again for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please let me know any questions or comments that you have. Also, if you can please leave an Apple 5-star review so that this episode can be shared with more women. There's 2 quotes that I love. Alone we may be strong, but together we are stronger. As well as when women support each other, incredible things happen. So let's be stronger and incredible together, as well as maybe just have some fun along the way. Thanks so much, and talk to you soon. Bye.